Hi guys, this is O-Level Chemistry, paper 12, November 2020, question 1. During a titration experiment, an acid is transferred into a burette. The diagrams show part of the burette at the start of the titration and at the end point. What is the volume of acid used during the titration? So it will be the volume at the end minus volume at the start. So volume at the end would be, so we are starting with 27, so 27.1, 27.2, and 27.3. So the end point of the titration is at 27.3. Then we subtract the starting volume. Starting volume, let's start with 22, 22.1, 22.2, 22.3, and 22.4. So we have 22.4 as our starting point. So when we subtract 22.4 from 23.7, we are left with 4.9 as the value of the titer. So this makes option B the correct option for this question. Question 2. When calcium carbonate is added to dilute hydrochloric acid, carbon dioxide gas is released. Three sets of apparatus are shown. Okay. In one, we have loss of CO2 being measured in the form of mass. In two, we have volume of CO2 produced collected in a gas syringe. And three, we have CO2 being produced collected over water in a measuring cylinder. Okay. Which sets of apparatus are suitable together with a stopwatch for following the rate of this reaction? Okay. So we can have rate of loss of CO2 in setup 1. We can have rate of collection of CO2 in setup 2. But the problem with setup 3 is CO2 is soluble in water. So if we pass CO2 through water, some of it will dissolve. So the amount that would be collected would be lesser than the amount produced. So experimental setup 3 is incorrect for our requirement of the experiment. Therefore, option B is the correct option for this question. Question 3. Chromatography can be used to separate and identify dyes present in a mixture. Which statement is correct? A dye with an RF value of 1.2 can be present in a mixture. It is not necessary what the RF value of a component of a mixture is. You cannot have a fixed value for it. A dye could have a different RF value if a different solvent was used. Yes, different components have different RF values in different solvents. This is a fact of chromatography. All blue dyes have the same RF value? No. Chromatography can only be used for colored substances such as dyes. No. For colorless substances, locating agents can be sprayed onto the separating component so that their positions can be identified after the chromatography has been completed. So this makes option B the correct option for this question. Question 4. Petroleum crude oil is separated into useful fractions by fractional distillation. The position at which fractions X and Y are collected from the fractionating column are shown. Okay. Y is collected below X, that means X is collected at a lower boiling point and Y is collected at a higher boiling point because the collection of fraction is based on the increase in the boiling point as we go from top to bottom. Which statement is correct? The temperature increases up the column? No, the temperature decreases up the column. Next, X condenses at a lower temperature than Y? Yes, because X is above Y, it will condense at a lower temperature. Next, X has a higher boiling point than Y? No, X has a lower boiling point than Y. Next, X has longer chain molecules than Y? No, the separation of components is based on the mass as well, the size of the component. So the higher the fraction is collected, the smaller would be its carbon length. So this is also incorrect, making option B the correct option for this question. Question 5. Aqueous zinc chloride is tested with various reagents. Which observation is correct? Aqueous ammonia gives a white precipitate which is soluble in excess reagent. Yes, a white PPT of zinc hydroxide forms which dissolves in excess to give a colorless solution. This is one of the tests for zinc. Next, copper turnings give a precipitate of zinc. No, copper is less reactive than zinc, so it will not displace zinc. Acidified aqueous silver nitrate gives a yellow precipitate. We've got chloride present, it would give a white precipitate. Acidified aqueous barium nitrate gives a white precipitate. No precipitate will be seen because sulfate ions or sulfite ions are absent from our salt. So this makes option A the correct option for this question. Question 6. When aqueous sodium hydroxide is added to a solution, a white precipitate forms which dissolves when excess sodium hydroxide is added. So a white PPT forms and then it dissolves. So this could either be Al3 positive or it could be Zn2 positive because both of them give the same result. Which ion could be present in the solution? Aluminum ion? Yes. Calcium? No. Copper? No. Sodium? No. Calcium would give a white precipitate which would not dissolve in excess. Copper would give a blue precipitate which would not dissolve in excess. And sodium does not give a precipitate. So this makes option A the correct option for this question. Question 7. A sample of gas occupies a volume of 2 dm cube at room temperature and pressure. Which changes in the conditions would both decrease the volume occupied by the gas? And we are considering temperature and pressure here. So we need to remember that volume is directly proportional to temperature. And they're asking us that the volume should decrease. In order for the volume to decrease, the temperature should decrease. So option A has decreased, B has increased, so B is eliminated, C has decreased, and D has increased, so it is eliminated. So we continue with options A and C. Next is pressure. Volume is inversely proportional to pressure. In order for the volume to decrease, the pressure must increase. In option A, it says decrease, so option A is incorrect. Option C says increase. Therefore, option C is the correct option for this question. Question 8. An ion contains 20 electrons and has a charge of +3. So it has lost 3 electrons. So in total, the atom of this element had a total of 23 electrons. From which element was the ion formed? So now we've got aluminum, calcium, iron, and vanadium. We look at the periodic table and look at their proton numbers. Vanadium is the one with the proton number of 23, making vanadium the correct answer. So option D becomes the correct option for this question. Question 9. Which statement is correct? Diamond conducts electricity while graphite does not. This is the exact opposite. Graphite conducts electricity while diamond does not. So incorrect. Graphite has delocalized ions between its layers. No, it has delocalized electrons between its layers. Next, in diamond, each carbon atom is joined to 3 other carbon atoms only. It is joined to 4 other carbon atoms in diamond, 3 other carbon atoms in graphite. And the last one, the layered structure of graphite makes it slippery. Yes, layers are able to slide over one another, making graphite slippery. And therefore, it's used as an industrial lubricant. This makes option D the correct option for this question. Question 10. Which material has the highest melting point? So we've got ammonia, methane, sodium chloride, and water. So ammonia is a simple covalent molecule. Methane is a simple covalent molecule. sodium chloride is an ionic solid, and water is a simple covalent molecule. So, out of the four, the odd one out is sodium chloride because it has ionic bonding in it, making it the correct answer. So, option C is the correct option for this question.